Hello, I'm Kelly and welcome to my Flosstube channel, Animal Instinct. I'm back for another cross-stitching update finally. It's Saturday the 26th of June 2021 today. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for coming back again. I know I've been really inconsistent this year, but hopefully that will change now. And if you're new, hi, I hope you enjoy. This is just where I share my cross-stitching and I tend to do quite a bit. I hope you're all well. I'm really good. I've just gotten really busy these last 10 weeks with uni and work. So something had to give. But I'm very excited because I had my last exam for my course. So just waiting on results now, but hopefully I have actually completed my qualification, which is great because I have my evenings and my weekends back. So more time for stitching and hopefully more time for like filming Flosstubes and just engaging in the stitchy community a bit more. So it's really nice to be back. I've been asked by a few friends if I do a whip parade, and it feels a bit daunting, but I think I will. It's probably a good way to reacquaint myself with some of the whips I haven't really touched this year. I'm not going to do that today, but maybe within the next month I'll give it a go. But today I just want to fill you in on what I've been working on since I last filmed. So where do we start? I guess I think when I last filmed I was just heading into May, so Stitch Mania, and I decided to do Monogamous May because I was really busy. I didn't feel like changing projects every day, which is what I did last year. And I was really enjoying the full coverage piece I was working on at the time, so I thought maybe I could work towards a finish. So that was this one. Story Time by Zazak Namu, now goes by the name of Eruda Art Gecko Rouge Kit. And when I came into May, I was about 40% done and I had about 15,000 stitches to go, so it's only a smallish full coverage piece. But very excited to show you that I finished her. I loved working on this one. So it's on 25 count, 1/1, full crosses, and it took me 35 stitching days. I started, I think it was mid-April-ish, and then I finished somewhere in the third week of May. Loved the colours, were just really like soothing, and yeah, I just really enjoyed. I didn't want to work on anything else the whole time I was stitching it. So still needs a wash to get rid of the grid lines, and then I will be framing this one, but it is small. But very, very happy to have that one done. And then after that, I kind of didn't know what to do. I was a bit lost. So I pulled out a few things that I just worked on like for one evening each. I've got them here though, I may as well show you. The first one was one that has been languishing, like many. Blue Flower Night Walked Down. And I did one night's work on this one. So it's on 32 count even weave. It's from Jay's X Stitch. You can find her fabric on Etsy. She's in Australia, and it's mulberries and cream. So it's a soft pinkish purplish color, really, really soft. And I just put all of that green vine in on the right. This is one where I just think if I sort of dedicated, you know, a decent amount of time like I did with Story Time, it's one I'd actually like to finish in the near-ish future, maybe this year. I don't know, we'll see. That one's looking good. And then I kind of was all antsy and I was like, oh, I want to try something else. So I pulled out this one. This is Coastal by Gecko Rouge, artwork by Roseanne Bell. It was my first foray back into stitching back in 2017. And I just jumped in with a big full coverage piece. Why not? This one's probably barely worth showing, but I don't think I'd actually worked on this one since Stitch Mania last year, which is terrible. That's where I'm at so far. I'm at about 20%. And I just worked on just the flowers in here. It's quite confetti heavy in this area. So this is on 25 count, 1/1 full crosses too. And then another one that I just pulled out for one night was Mojo Stitches Bushland Quaker. I'll pop a photo in. This is another one that I think I could yeah, if I put, just like everything, put the time in, get it done. But it's beautiful. This is where I'm up to. Oh, the lighting's terrible. It's very gloomy outside. So this is 40 count week tea, again by Jay's X Stitch. And I'm using the, just grab it. The floss pack, or thread pack, whatever she called it, from the designer Mojo Stitches. I bought this off of her Etsy shop. And so it's a combination of cottage garden threads and DMC. And it's got all you need to stitch it as long as you're using one strand for your crosses. So I'll just zoom in again. So I think, oh my gosh, I'm showing it sideways. That's how it goes. Far out of practice. Here we go. So I think that evening I was working on this one, and then I had a lovely stitchy weekend, in-person stitchy friends. It was amazing. Amanda, Pennington Terrace, Mel, Patchy Pony Stitcher, and Michelle, Mitch Stitch One, and also the brains behind Pug Poodle Designs. They all came to Adelaide and we had a weekend up in the hills. If you know Adelaide, we stayed in Harndorf, which is a little German settlement surrounded by wineries. And we just had a great weekend. It was so good to see them in person and just to have a bit of an escape. We went to wineries and we drank a fair bit of wine and ate a lot of cheese. That was pretty much what happened over the weekend. We did do plenty of stitching. I took Bushland Quaker with me, and I only worked on it for one afternoon. I think I finished this motif and started this one. We sat outside for one afternoon. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful day and the light was perfect, but inside our house the lighting was a bit iffy and there was no way I could work on 40 count linen in our house. So that's another one that I'll probably keep out, I think. And so the other project I took for that weekend, I just wanted something that was fairly easy to stitch because I thought, well, I wasn't sure about lighting, and I also thought if I've had a couple of wines, I don't want to mess stuff up. So I went through my whip pile, and I actually chose this one. This is Frosted Pumpkin Into the Jungle, their stitch along from 2018. And I think I've got a photo of where I was at the start of the year. I just kind of fell out of love with this piece. I don't know why, but I was really close to finishing. So I'll just show you. I'm calling this finished. So another whip finished. So the top banner is completely missing. I just decided I needed it to be done. So there were a few stitches in that top banner that I'd picked out. But what I really worked on over the weekend was, had the tapirs here and the leopard to finish. So you'll notice the tapirs have weird looking eyes. When I was stitching on it, Michelle commented that they looked like zombie sheep. So I stole some of her red, I think it was a Gloriana that she was using, and I turned them into zombie tapirs. So there you go, Michelle. And if you have a look at her latest video, she's just stitched a piece What the Cluck, and I think my zombie tapirs might have infected the chicken in her piece because that is also a zombie. Anyway, so that is that. Very happy to be finished with that one. We've just got a friend come to visit. This is Reggie. He's doing very well. He's still up to mischief, but hasn't needed any more surgery. Hopefully that never happens again. We'll see how we go here. He'll probably destroy everything. Off you go. All right, so next I'll show you the kind of monthly stitching that I'm doing. So first up is the Snowflower Diaries Joyful World series. You can find them for free on their blog. Now, I think I last filmed in April, so I've got the May piece finished. So cute little kitty cats. So this is on 18 count Ada vintage country mocha, and I'm just using one strand of floss for the crosses. And then I can't really remember the reason why, but I started them on 18 count Heartland Ada from Picture This Plus, but I only had enough to do 4. I can't remember my thinking. So they're on slightly different colours, but it's fine because I'm only going to be displaying 1 month at a time. But it's quite interesting. I don't know if it'll show on camera. They're quite different sizes. So this is the vintage country mocha. So this fabric doesn't go through a full dyeing process. They do something to just the top side of the fabric to get that sort of mottled look, but it is like there's 18 stitches per inch. And then let's see, with Picture This Plus, you know, it has been dyed and it's shrunk. I can't remember what the count turns out to be, but it's quite a bit smaller. You can sort of tell, but it is noticeably smaller in person. So I just have to remember that when I'm finishing them, that they're going to be slightly different. Or I want to make them all the same size. So I guess these ones will have slightly more border showing. So then I kind of showed you, I haven't finished the June piece yet. I've just done the frame. So stitching these with Deb Wilson, and once June's done, we've only got July and August, and then we're done. So I've got a couple of options to sort of take over as monthly stitching, but I'll go through those when I do my whip parade, I think. I'm not quite sure which one I'll do, but it's been quite good having one to focus on each month. And then my other one is my temperature typography by Stitch and Mummy Sarah. This is where I'm at. I'm about 2 weeks behind. I should have the U and the N, I think, done for June. But 2 weeks ago, I was 2 months behind, and I caught up in one sort of decent stitching session in one evening. So it's a really forgiving pattern. So this is on 25 count Pewter Lugana, 1/1 full crosses. And the colours represent the maximum temperature in my city each day. Kind of weird, like the summer was all over the place. Wouldn't have expected so many greens. Should have been just reds, oranges and yellows up here. And then there's going to be a lot of blue and maybe some purple here because it's gotten really cold. But it's looking really good. Okay, and then This one is a popular one. I have pulled out my Firefly by Jenny Parks. It's my epic Gecko Rouge kit that's going to take me decades, like multi-decade, more than one decade. I was a bit horrified to see that I had last stitched on it at the start of March. I love working on it, so anyway, it's just one, because it's so big, I just need to keep it out and just keep chipping away, I think. I think that's the only way I'll have any chance of getting this one done. It's my piece that I nominated for Full Coverage Fanatics 21,000 Stitches in 2021. And in fact, I'd actually like to double that. I'd like to get that done twice. I'd like to do 42,000 stitches. I'm at about 16,000 for the year so far, so I haven't quite made it to 21. But when I do pick it up, it stitches, especially the section I'm in, it stitches pretty quickly. So I'll pop a photo of where it was at the start of the year, because I can't really remember if I've taken photos since. But I'd done his head and the tips of his shoulders. And so this year I'm just focusing on that coat, or him, I guess, finishing him. And here he is. Isn't he fabulous? So this is on 25 count Lugana. It's 1/1 full crosses, although when there's clear background, I'm doing 2/1 tent stitch to make it go a little bit faster. And you just can't tell the difference at all in person or on here. So, but I do, like, my absolute favorite is full crosses, but I think I've just got to accept that I need help to finish this one. So if that takes a bit of time off, then I'm okay with that. But all the cats will be stitched full cross. I don't really know why I'm collecting needle minders. They seem to be accumulating. Anyway, so I'll show you how I've been working him. So yeah, focusing on the jacket, and the grid lines on this piece are 20 by 20. So I'm working across in 20 stitch deep rows. So at the moment you can see I'm working across this row. I'm just working the width of his jacket, which is pretty straightforward to tell on the pattern. And my only rule, I guess, is that I'm not starting a new thread in the next row down. But if it makes sense to come down, you know, to keep stitching, then I'll do that. But I won't start anything new until this whole row is complete. So I'm up to his elbow. His elbow sort of comes around here and then starts to go back in. I think so the page line is across here. You can sort of see gridding. I gridded the pages before I started, but there's still 9 pages to go to finish him completely. He's enormous. Anyway, there he is again, just, you know, please admire. All right. I worked on that for Tessa's birthday stitch along, Tess Stitch's birthday stitch along, Cats and Coffee X Stitch Sal. So have a look on Instagram, that hashtag. She had a big start on a beautiful Cats and Coffee themed piece just this week. Right, I've also had another new start, and I started this on another friend's birthday, Deb Wilson's birthday recently. I started Punk Poodle Designs EC's Plague Doctor. This is available exclusively from the Top Knot Stitcher shop, and it's really cool. I love the moodiness of it. It's kind of really creepy, and it's just fantastic. Anyway, once I started stitching on it, I kind of just couldn't stop, and I finished it. So I have actually just realized I haven't even shown Michelle, so whoops. I stitched this on 40 count linen. It's Autumn Crackle by No. 12 Stitch Co. handmade at number 12. Which is your Etsy shop, Nicola? I'll put it below. And I just thought it was perfect grungy material for this piece. And there is the finish. So I love how it's kind of like he's there at maybe dusk and it's a bit sort of smoky or foggy, misty, and there he is in the foreground, wandering around. You can't really see, I don't think, no. His monocle should be outlined in black. You can't see it on there, but you can see it beautifully in person. I gave him a silver sparkly Krynic monocle. So now I just have to find a suitably creepy frame, I think, to display him in. But he is fantastic. Okay, we're almost there. Oh, that's all my stitching whips actually. I do have a planned new start. I've been collecting Silks for You. I've been in one of their monthly clubs for over a year now, and I was just sort of going through my stash the other day when I was procrastinating for my exam. Whoops. And I realised I've been collecting all these beautiful skeins of silk, but I haven't really been using them. So I went looking for a pattern where I could maybe use them, something that could be really colourful. And it just happened to be the day that Long Dog Samplers released their new one, Pointed Fifth. I'll put in here. I can't remember the actual name of it. And I probably wouldn't say it very well. Quinto Acuto or Acuto Quinto. I can't remember which way around it goes. Anyway. So that one is just chock full of animals. And I think what I'm going to do, well, I know what I'm going to do. Let me show you. I have a piece of 40 count mallow linen. It's fairly even linen with no real slubs. I can't remember, it's not like just cotton linen, it's got something else in it, I think. But that's the colour. And I'm going to do like the background, the non-animal-y bits in this Silks for You PR043, which is a charcoal grey. And then all the animals are going to be colours, coloured. So it could get bright. I hope it's not going to get too busy. But that's my plan. Get through my Silks for You stash, stitching a heap of different critters on this. So I have no idea when I'll actually start that, but yeah, I'm excited. I have one last thing to show you. It's a little bit of a sneak peek, I guess. After I finish up here, I'm going to spend the day at my mum's. We're having a bit of a sewing day together. And if you watched my videos last year, I worked on a lot of small pieces that were kind of themed for the year. They are the Be Well and Stitch pieces that designers gifted to their community. A lot of them were themed 2020. Some of them were just beautiful designs, and I stitched a lot of them. And I'm putting them all together into a quilt. And I have started piecing it together, so that's what I'm going to be doing today, is trying to get the top done. That takes ages, so I don't know if I'll get it done today, but this is just yeah, a little bit that I've already done. So they're all different dimensions, all the different pieces, so I can't have all that border like equal. It's just not possible. So yeah, and it's the fabric that we ended up choosing is very forgiving too, so it doesn't matter that they're like sort of, you know, like that's a bit fatter than that, but it sort of frames them really nicely. Hello, Reggie. So yeah, that's my plan. I'm actually going to stitch 2020 in here. That was kind of an afterthought. So I should probably look at that too. But I can't wait to share this when it's all done. But that's going to be a little way off yet. I think that's everything. Good timing, Reg. So I think with that, we'll say goodbye. It's really nice to be back again. I'm not really in the flow yet, but I've enjoyed putting this together. So I hope you've enjoyed it too. My next video will probably be a whip parade, I think. Wish me luck. And yeah, I hope to see you all soon. And I also looking forward to all this sort of extra time, me time that I have now. I can catch up on Flosstube and Instagram and all of that. So we will say goodbye and we'll catch you all next time. See ya.